Hey, everybody. How's it going? It's another installment of the Running Man Ryan vlog podcast, whatever the heck you want to call it. You know, we're here to bring you some fun and inundated, cool running things that we do. Just some different kind of fun stuff that always goes on here. Again, my name is Ryan. Just like to have fun. I like to run. We call it Running Man Ryan because my buddy Kelly Frinton one time, he was like, dang, you're Running Man Ryan. So that's why we call it Running Man Ryan. Today is Sunday, April 29th, 2018. Let's see here. Yesterday there was a sweet pair of Jordans, the 11s with all gray and those like translucent iridescent blue bottoms. I need a pair of 10.5 11s. Didn't get them, so that kind of makes me mad. Kind of makes me a little frustrated. But we do actually have some really cool things going on here. Berkshire Hathaway days are coming up here, so there's going to be a few Brooks event because Berkshire Hathaway owns Brooks, like the shoes Brooks. A few stores here locally are going to have a few drops on some really cool Brooks shoes, so I might go check those out. And I can definitely bring, if I buy a pair, I'll bring those and show those to you, tell you how they perform. Again, I really like the Reveal Brooks. They're the ones that I have on right now. My dog and I, we went and ran about 9 miles today. Look at those. They're so cool. I like the back, kind of, they're really cool. And there's a really cool thing that you can do with the laces. I don't know if you all know about this, but again, I saw it on a YouTube or a Facebook clip. But basically, what you do is you take and you loop it on the outside, just like that. You take another loop, and then you loop your shoelace through that loop right there, and you pull it tight, so it's kind of makes it something like that. Oh dang it! It locks it into place. It locks your foot into place. It's so nice. I'll definitely have a better video on that coming up because I think that's super important. It's really changed the way that my shoes feel, that my shoes perform. Even if they come untied, they still stay on really, really tight. So if you're kind of just digging in and you don't want to bend over and tie your shoe still will stay on really tight, and you can still kind of grind it through until you get to a spot where you're like, all right, I feel more comfortable to tie my shoe right here. I'm going to tie it up and then be on your way. Omaha and Nebraska kind of have, this is kind of a cliche thing that I'm going to say here, but people think that Nebraska is like one of the flattest, and it really is super, super flat. There's no mountains. It's very flat, but Omaha is very, very hilly. There's a lot of big hills. There's just a lot of altitude to gain. And, you're not climbing up like mountains or anything like that, so don't get me wrong, but, those just 15% inclines can just be killer. So, today, I really love, there's a lot of trails in Omaha. There's some good flat trails, but also on some of the trails they provide, when you get to the end of the trails, they provide some really big hills. And maybe go ahead and try those. So when you go down the South Omaha Trail that connects to the Field Club Trail, when you're riding or just going from, and that goes from the Keystone Trail down at Karen Park. So if you're down at Karen Park and you're running up on the backside of all that Peter Kiewit stuff there, that's where kind of PD and we ran from, like the grain silos down in South Omaha Field Club area, all the way down to Karen and then back. So if you go to Karen, that connects with the Keys, or that's the Big Papio Trail. There's a few hills that you have to go up going that way. A big one is right after I call it, it's kind of like the desert because there's no shade. The interstate's on one side of you. You got kind of a storage junkyard kind of on the next side of you, and it's usually just the grass is all burnt out because it's super hot and you don't ever get a lot of moisture. If there is a lot of moisture, it's very, very humid. And the sun just beats down on you. So I call it, in my mind, I call that part the desert. So you kind of run through that desert part there, and then there's a huge hill to get up on top of to meet up to 36th Street there. So you can run up that hill. Definitely one of my suggestions, if you're running really hard, run into the hills, run harder in the hills. Sometimes people want to walk up or give up, but don't give up. Give into the burn. Like, let your legs really, really pump, let them burn, pick them up a little bit more, act like you're going upstairs maybe, and maybe in your arms think that you have poles, and the poles are kind of helping you along the way there. So definitely kind of use some mind tricks along the way to help you propel your way up those hills and through the tougher parts of your run. You definitely just continue on. If we were going down to up through there, over the bridge, over the interstate, of course, over the train tracks. I like that. It's kind of a fun part there. And then you run down, meeting up right around 42nd Street. You run through that part there. It's very industrial, kind of a little treacherous, a little different once in a while. But everybody's just people, and if you just mind your business and are a nice person and don't get into anybody else's business, everybody just lets you you're running, you're not in anyone else's business, so don't worry about it. And then once you hit up to the South Omaha Trail up there right around 42nd Street, and I think it'd be about, not necessarily F, but maybe F Street around there. And then you just start running. You go down to about 40 or 48th or 50th. You get up about 50th and G Street, or down there where the old No Frills used to be. So right around in that little bowl down there, and you just run. And then you run past the backside of Old Ryan High. I like that. I like it. It's very calm. There's a lot of nice trees on one side, on both sides. It's the trees hide the industrial crappiness, because behind there's just like you can hear it, you can kind of smell it. Sometimes there's just some industrial mick-muck and all that stuff. But it's nice that they have the trees to cover it up and to block it out, and you get birds. And actually saw a turkey today on the run. I've been running with my Welsh Terrier Petey. She's amazing. She's awesome. She really likes running a lot. We have a lot of fun out there on the trails. It's just a lot of fun to run. I'd invite you to go out there and try it. Don't half-ass things in your life. You can get pretty far. See, that's the thing I was thinking about. You can do a lot in your life if you just half-ass things, because people in life really, there's a lot of people that don't even make an attempt to half-ass. So you're ahead of half those people that half-ass things, and then if you don't half-ass it, you're 90% above everybody else. So, you just have to make up that 10% gap to be in the 1% if you really think about it. That's... just don't half-ass it, and you're in. Let's say if you just don't half-ass it, you're in a rare air of 20% of the population, because 80% of the people are not going to half-ass it. So, or 80% of the people are gonna half-ass it, and then, 40% of the people are gonna half-ass it, and then 80% of the people are never gonna give it their all. And then, I think if you really give it your all, then you're within the 10%. I'm still working on giving that all, so I'm probably still within that 20%. And there's a lot of sacrifices that you have to make, and a lot of things that you have to leave behind if you want to get to that next 10%. So I don't know if we're gonna make those sacrifices, but one day we'll get to where I personally want to be. It all comes down to diet. I think that's my number one bad thing about me. I need help with the diet. So if you have any suggestions out there, please let me know. It'd be great to have you on. I'd love to have someone on the show. Maybe we can go for a run and then, we can have a cool little 10-15 minute interview. But definitely get out there. Don't half-ass it, because if you do, you're within the 40% of America and the population. And then if you go and give it your all, you're within 80%. You're above 80% of everybody. So, and then you can take those little things that you work from your workout, put those into life, and then it's just a weight game. It really is. And that's what sucks about life sometimes, is you have to put in the effort and then you have to wait. You have to be willing to sit there through the muck, through the grind, just continuing on doing it's kind of like running. You have to, if you're going to run every day, you're going to run every day, regardless of if it's snowing out, if it's tornado out, if it's 100 degrees out. You just have to make up your mind you're going to go run every day. And if you run 5 miles to 8 miles, well, then soon enough, those 8 miles are going to be not that challenging, and you got to run 13 miles. You got to crank it up a little bit more, because that's what's challenging. And then you get in rarefied air where you're running with people that run 13 miles every day. That's like ultra marathon people. And then you just so you get with those different kinds of people. And remember, it's good to take days off. I'm not gonna lie. If you make long runs, 8 to 10 mile runs, and you do that 3 to 4 miles, 3 to 4 times a week. I want to do 10-mile runs 4 times a week. That'd be about 40 miles a week. But I think I can do a lot more. I really do, because your legs, your body is. People say you need to take days off. Well, it's good to take days off, but it's also good to fold the metal in the muscles into metal. Just keep pushing it. The more days you take off, the next time your legs hurt. And I see. Just got to get over that. You just got to get over it. It's a mentally tough thing when you've been running for 7 days. On that Sunday, or 5 days in a row, and you've been, you're on your 30th mile, your legs, your hips hurt, but that's a mental toughness thing. It's not it's not an age thing, because your body can do it. Your body's built to do it. You're building your body to do it. It's just your mind doesn't want you to do it, so you just got to continue to push on. That's just like anything you do in life. Your mind's going to tell you to stop. Your mind's going to say, hey, we need to be comfortable in what we're doing. We need to be comfortable in this. But, folks, that's not always how it works, and you know it. So definitely check it out. Magic City News. Check us out on Twitter. I don't know if we're on Twitter, but check us out on Facebook. Check out Twitch, Sports Corner. I produce a podcast, The Basement. Again, produce a bunch of things. So definitely check us out. All the stuff that we're producing, it's so amazing. It's so wonderful. I love you all. But the big one right now is Cole's Sports Corner. I think that's going to be pretty awesome. So it's a sports podcast. I think we're going to continue on with that. Hopefully we can get some. Here's what I want to tell Cole. Here's my dream for Cole, and hopefully he can watch this and see. This is what I want. I want Cole to go out there and find a sports team like the Gross Cougars or the Omaha Bryan Bears, or a local sports athletic team that we can go ahead and fully cover on, that we can make a sports feature, a 10-minute sports feature every week, and say, hey, we're going to highlight these two athletes, or maybe this is what happened within this. And, we can go to some sports events, we can get some footage, we can get some scores, but we definitely need to find and reach out to one of these places and make a commitment to them that we're going to go and cover them and try and make something happen for them, and highlight what they are doing. So definitely that's something we need to do every week. We need to reach out. We need to go and get a sports schedule for the Gross Cougars. And maybe we start doing that and building those relationships this fall, or this spring and end of this summer. And then we start with it on football, because we can definitely probably figure out a way to broadcast football games, each and every one of them live on YouTube. I think that would be something really, really awesome and special. So let's go ahead. That's a goal that I have. I don't know if that if we can make that happen, but if we can make that happen, Holy cow. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Again, listen to the beat I made. I think it's super cool. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And let's see you. Yeah, there it is, everybody. Let's see you out there on the trails.